All right, welcome into the Pesky Poll YouTube channel. And we got a little second and 10 football pulled up. And one of my favorite games, I'm on a Richard Hanna kick right now. I have not found a game that Richard has done that I don't like. Even sports I don't really like. His games for those sports are incredible. For instance, I just bought Classic Soccer. Not a big soccer fan, but that game is so good that I'm suddenly getting into soccer. I'm watching the real World Cup right now. I'm replaying the 2014 World Cup. I'm going to have that in the channel later on this week. Just really, it's unreal. So second and 10 is probably the best value out there. Just kind of showing you real quick. So you buy the game. I think it's $44, $45 for the game. But then you get every NFL, every pro season. Okay, all these are free. All these are free. Every single one of these are free. And then when the new season comes out, like I bought this game probably in 2017 or so. When a new game comes out, they put out the new season for you for free. For free. Colleges, you get most of the seasons. You get with the game, you get these three here 53, 56, 59. You get 66, 69. You get 77 with the game. You get 84 with the game. You get 95 with the game. You get 99, I believe, through 2012, I want to say. And then everything else is to buy, but for the college game. But the seasons are only $10 a piece. So I bought 1980, I bought 82, I bought 87, I bought 88, I bought 92, and I bought 15 and 16. With that being said, though, you can go back and like every college football season, the top 50 teams are on there as well. So, for example, like I don't have 93, or I don't think 93 is out, but I can go back the top 50 teams from 1993 around there are in the game as well, just not the season. So it's a really good value on this. So I'm playing 92, okay, and so far this poll's up right now. I've done 2 weeks here so far, and so week one was a short week. You had Stanford and Texas A&M playing. Stanford got the win 14-6. Stanford was 10-3 in the season, and A&M went 12-1 in the season. So this is a pretty good game um, being played in week one, and Stanford got the win and a little bit of an upset there. This is the Steve Walsh Stanford team. Iowa, NC State. NC State was a 9-3-1 team that year, pretty good team. Iowa was not a very good team, 5-7, but Iowa gets the win there. So how I'm doing this is I'm playing. How I play second and 10 is, if I'm going to coach a team, what I usually do is kind of the CEO coach way of things, in which I'm going to let the computer, kind of like my coordinators, my computer call the offense and defense. And 95% of the time, they call the plays. What I do as the head coach is I jump in sometimes and decide to make a change, but they're going to go for it on fourth down if the computer's not going to go for it. Sometimes, I like to kind of, at times we get a turnover. Sometimes I kind of go in deep, and so I may go ahead and insert myself and call a play deep. A lot of times too, what happens, we get a nice lead. I kind of like to start running the ball and running the clock out a little bit and kind of get the clock moving. So I may take over a series there. And then sometimes the offense is struggling. I may go ahead and take over for a series and try to get it going myself. So I like doing it that way. So that's kind of how I do this now. For this one here, as you know, I'm a Gamecock grad, South Carolina. So I'm going to go ahead and coach all their games. And I'm going to pick out one game a week or two. If there's two really good games a week, I'm going to play those games. So in week one, what I did, the game of the week for week one was Miami at Iowa. And reason being, Miami, the defending national champions, they came into the season #1 in the country. And so I played this game here, and they won 34-17. It actually was a tough ball game. As you can see here, Iowa was up 17-10 at the half. It was a windy day in Iowa on the road, and Gino Torretta, who won the Heisman in '92, had a tough day. Not really tough. He had his numbers look horrible, but the wind was really bad. It was a tough day to throw the ball. So he actually threw 3 touchdown passes. He led some big drives later on. The Hurricane defense came in, but it got a little bit scary there for the Hurricanes early on that. So that game, I played that game out. Um, in the big news, though, my beloved Gamecocks, and I hardly called a play in this game, upset Georgia 31-21. This is the Gamecocks' first ever SEC game. And the following year, they actually lost this game in real life to Georgia. I was a senior in high school at the time, so I was coming to school the next year at Carolina. And in '93, the following year in Georgia, the Gamecocks actually upset Georgia in this game. So 31-21, did not score a point in the second half. I was up 31-14 at the half. Tannehill was on the fire, and then things kind of bogged down a little bit. We held down with our defense, 31-21, a big win there for the Gamecocks on that. Um, the big news of week 1, or week 2, I should say, was Alabama. Okay, check this out. Alabama won the national title, okay, um, in '92 in real life, beat Miami in the Sugar Bowl, and they lose on opening week to Vanderbilt, 31-27. Now, Vanderbilt scores 4 touchdowns. Okay, all their touchdowns were on returns. They get 2 punt returns for touchdowns and 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. They actually had like 85 yards of total offense. And despite that, Bama had a chance to win in the final drive, and they came down the final drive and got snuffed out there. You can see their quarterback, Marcus Wilson, threw for 10, 14 yards. I mean, they threw for 14 yards and won the game. Barker did not have a good game, 3 picks. That didn't help. Um, Lassick, 91 yards on there. David Palmer. This is a really good Bama team, undefeated that year. Undefeated. Okay, they went 13-0 that year. They're off to an 0-1 start. So we'll see if that affects things and how they work. So I'm trying to think of other scores here that are pertinent. Washington came in real life in '92, #2 team in the country, I believe. They won the co-national title with the Miami Hurricanes the year before, and went to the Rose Bowl in '92 in real life. So they came out and got smoked by Arizona State 37-10. Penn State gets upset by Cincinnati Bearcats. Penn State not a great team, 7-5 that year. They get upset though. The Bearcats weren't a great team either. They were 3-8, so that's a pretty big upset. Syracuse is a national title contender for sure. '92. They get a 49-28 win. They went 10-2 that season, so the Cuse is up to a good start there. In the game that just makes me laugh and smile, Ball State beats Clemson 20-17. Pretty funny stuff. Florida State, playing their first game in the ACC, picks up a win 17-7. Remember, Florida State won like about, I forget what their streak was. They won like their first 25 games in the conference, I think it was. North Carolina beat them at 90. Was it 93? Something like that. So they get off to a start. They're 17-7. Not exactly a blowout there. Charlie Ward is kind of a fun team to play, and they're going to be kind of featured next week. A&M. Remember A&M? I told you about A&M went 12-1 in the real life. They get beat by LSU. LSU was not very good in '92. LSU was 2-9 in '92. Okay, they get beat there. They go to 0-2 in the season. They go to the Cotton Bowl in real life. I don't think they won the Cotton Bowl in our replay, folks. Nebraska is definitely a contender for the title. They get a 35-3 win over Utah. Tommy Frazier on this team. This is a good little ball club here. You got Tommy Frazier and Derek Brown, Trev Alberts that won 9-3 that year. So Nebraska is off to a good start there. Ohio State squeaks by Louisville. Notre Dame is a really good team in '92. They went 10-1-1 in the year, and they were struggling a little bit with Northwestern. Um, they were actually down at one point in this game. Um, I think they were down. They were down, I think 24-28, something like that, and they came back and had a big comeback there to get the win. We saw Georgia and so forth there. Next week, week 3, we got actually 2 big games. We're gonna play 3 games. We're gonna play the Arkansas South Carolina game. Let's go ahead and check on the point spread in that one there. Arkansas is 1-0 as well. Um, at home again, they're 2-point favorites. You can see their main player there, Atlanta Waters. So we'll see if we can kind of get 2-0 on there. And then we've got 2 big games. One game kind of loses a luster a little bit, and it's Florida State Clemson because Clemson got beat there. This in real life, Florida State barely escaped in Death Valley. Um, we'll see here the point spread is, and they're 12-point favorites there. So we're going to play that game for sure. I'm going to actually probably coach Florida State. We never coach Clemson. Never, never, never. And then, of course, the other big game was Michigan, Notre Dame. This game ended in a tie in real life. Michigan went 9-0-3. Michigan had 3 ties, 92. There's no overtime back then. I kind of like that in a way, to be honest with you. And Notre Dame went 10-1-1. So this is a big game to really decide, not decide, but to kind of eliminate a team maybe, or put kind of some change what happens there. Other big game, pretty big game, is Texas at Syracuse. Texas was 6-5 that year, not a great team by any stretch. Playing Syracuse in the dome, in the Carrier Dome, and there goes Syracuse, 13-point favorites there, and that one Marvin Graves at quarterback. So now the cool thing is everything's kind of done for you. So we go through here. I'm gonna do something real quick. So here's the bowls. These are the actual bowl matchups. Now, as you can see here, Texas A&M plays Notre Dame. Okay, I don't think in real life that happened in real life. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a couple of things. First of all, I'm kind of an old school guy. I don't like all the bowls, and even '92 does not have many bowls compared to now. I don't like having bowls, kind of the crappy bowls. Okay, so what you can do here, if you want, okay, I can delete these games. You can restore later on. So I'm going to delete all kind of the non games here, the non big games. All we're only going to have New Year's Day bowl games. Make it truly a treat to get to a New Year's Day bowl game. Liberty Bowl, sorry, Air Force, Mississippi's. Independence Bowl. Okay, Sugar Bowl, keeping Rose Bowl, keeping no Citrus Bowl. So Sugar, Rose, Cotton, no Blockbuster Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Hall of Fame Bowl. All right. And then you can edit this as well. So, the big game was Miami, Alabama. And I'm going to kind of use the same kind of philosophy as did in '92. So basically, the Sugar Bowl is the SEC champion against. I have to look again and see. I have it written down here. It's against either the highest ranked team from the Big East or the Big Eight, um, or Notre Dame. I think it is. You can do that too. So they have the Notre Dame clause. So if Notre Dame is the highest ranked team that's not in the SEC, they go play the SEC champion in the Sugar Bowl. If the Big East champ is, they go. If the Big Eight champ is, they go. Is how they do that. I think that's not the Big Eight. Big Eight does the Orange Bowl. I think. Yeah, the Big 8 does the Orange Bowl. Okay, I got it written down. So I'm gonna use the same idea. So, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play these out, and then if the 1 and 2 team don't play each other, okay, then I'm gonna have a +1 game. So in other words, say for example, if the number 1 team is a Big Ten team or a Pac-10 team, they play in the Rose Bowl. The number 2 team is a SEC team. They're not going to play each other. So we're going to go ahead and play the bowl games to a +1. If the 1 and 2 team does play, like in real life here, Bama was 1, Miami was 2, or vice versa. Um, they played, so that will be the national title game. If not, we'll do a +1 game, and I'm going to make the +1 game the higher ranked team play a home game on campus. What I'm going to do, my plan is okay. So you can kind of do this in terms of editing these things up here too, and so forth. The other thing is this: if you look at the summaries, okay, there is no poll up here right now. Okay, this is kind of a cool thing that I do. The options, you can put use college poll or don't use college poll. You can mark this at any time. Okay, I don't like seeing rankings early in the year. I wish real football wouldn't do that because this is kind of so crazy. I wait till about week 6, and then before I play the week 6 games, I go ahead and click the use college poll thing, and I get my first poll like in week 6 or so. Week 6 is usually what's the date? Week 6. First in October we'll do that. So after week 6 we'll kind of get our first poll and do it that way going through. So that's kind of the way I'm going to do it this year, 92, and I'll kind of come back and do each episode each week we go through. The big games this week for week 3 again will be Tennessee Georgia's pretty big. No, it's not a big game. Well, Georgia's 10-2 that year. That's pretty big. But they're 0-1 now because I beat them. And Tennessee's 9-3, so it's a pretty decent game. But Georgia's in the hole right now since I beat them there pretty good. Florida kind of goes that. FSU Clemson's a big game, and then Michigan Notre Dame is a big game as well. So we'll kind of be featuring those games when I come back for the next episode and do those. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. And I'm gonna do some World Cup stuff. I'm really getting the Richard Hanna games. I'm gonna go ahead and buy the ASG Golf as well. Ron Juckett, Uncle Ron has me sold on that game. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that package. I'm waiting for Black Friday in case of a Black Friday sale. I don't think they do. They have a pretty good deal on that. I'm gonna go ahead and get that going. I've got classic soccer. I'm gonna go ahead and buy Legends of Boxing and then buy the time travel tennis. So we're going to all Richard Hanna all the time. I've got PC replay baseball going. I got my 1941 and 91 seasons going. I'll get back to those and show you those upcoming weeks. And of course, I have the Stone Cold hockey, which I'm doing the 1983-84 season right now. And I'll have a couple of games on the channel from there as well. So it's me, a Richard Hanna production on this YouTube channel. And excuse me, he's not paying me anything. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's it's just organic. I mean, it's really a good game. I mean, for me, and everyone's different. Everyone's different what they like, what they don't like. I know, Ron loves the action PC baseball game, and I prefer PC replay baseball. Um, and then I know that some people like the action PC football game, but in 2nd and 10 because the animations. This game doesn't have animations. I mean, you play the game, you know, and the thing is, I kind of like it with no animations. I don't know what it is, but for me, I want to have the graphics. I want to have the helmets. These helmets are great. I want to have the fields. Okay, I'm going to click on this game real quick. Notre Dame, Michigan. Okay, I want to have the field. Okay, that the authentic field. I want to have the player picture for the most part. The player doesn't really, give me the field and the logo. I'm good. I don't need to see moving things. And the reason for that for me is my brain, I feel, is a better picture of what I have going on in the field in my brain. If I can read the play-by-play, if you give me a detailed play-by-play, in my head I can visualize it, and in my head when I visualize it, it's the most realistic animation in the world. And not that the animation isn't realistic in other games; it's pretty good, but it's not as good as your imagination. So I like using the imagination to me. And I do the same thing with Out of the Park Baseball. Out of the Park Baseball is doing a great job with the animations now. It's pretty good. But I still I like doing I like having the play by play. Give me the authentic field and the player pictures and the face gens are awesome. The logos and the jerseys. I need those. I need those for sure. Those visuals. But then the rest of it is in my brain. And so I kind of like the game. So the reason why some don't like Section 10 is because they don't have animation. Like cats are fighting right now. I like it because there's no animation. I mean, I like the fact that they set the formations up, and then my brain takes over, my imagination takes over, and I like that. So, but everyone has their own thing. So keep on watching the channel. I'm gonna do more videos and more updates on my projects on here as well. And that's about it, guys. Have a great night. Bye.